Okay, this video is going to be going over the stay command. I am going to walk you through how we teach stay first and how to practice it at home before I demonstrate with Oliver, just because it is the hardest command for puppies to learn, and that's been no exception with Oliver. It is just tough. Takes so much mental focus, and it goes against everything that puppies want to do. They want to run around, play, explore, jump. So having them sit still is not an easy task, especially as we walk away. So I'm going to walk you through it first because I need to be just as focused on him if I'm going to expect him to be focused and work with me. So the way we teach stay is through a progression of small baby steps. We start with just time before adding in that distance. So what that looks like is we're always going to start with putting him on place. We're going to have him either sit or lay down. That goes back to the place video, is why I always have him do that with place too. And then once he is sitting or laying down, I'm going to give him the stay signal, which is just a palm out. I'm going to tell him stay, and then I'm going to keep my feet planted right in front of him, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And maybe at first we're treating him every 10 seconds, and I'll say, yes, good stay. And then if it looks like he's still focused, I'll give him another stay signal and count again. If he does seem like he's getting a little antsy, we're just going to say, yes, good stay, and then break. And then he can go, he can play. One thing I did not mention in the place video, I'm realizing, is that we don't say yes, good break. Break is not necessarily a command. It is a signal to him that his work is over. So we're not going to treat it like a command and say yes, good break. But you can engage with him and, play with toys or whatever it may be, or pet him, but you don't need to say, oh my goodness, crawling under the, what are you doing down there? Oliver, touch. Oliver, touch. Come on. What are you doing, silly boy? Just getting dirty? Oh, we've got an itch. Okay, well, anyway, so we don't say yes for break. We're just going to let him go. So if he's getting antsy, even after the 10 seconds or whatever it may be, we're going to say break. If we've already said yes, good stay, giving him a reward. But if he seems like he's still engaged and trying to earn more treats, we will tell him stay again and do it again. So the first training session we do, it might be 10, then it's every 20, 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth. But once he can stay with us planted right in front of him for about 2 minutes, then we're going to start adding in that distance. So what that looks like is having him again on place, sit her down, stay, and we'll just practice with one step back. And we might do that for one full training session. And when I say a training session, it's not 15 to 20, 30 minutes. It may be 5 minutes. We don't want him to completely lose focus. Keep in mind their attention spans are pretty low at this point, so we want to keep him engaged and really keep him learning. So it might be just for 3 minutes, we're going to do one step back, meet him at the placemat at first, because we want him to associate, oh, I'm getting this reward for staying here, especially when we're using treats to reinforce everything as well. So same thing, once I do my one step, get back to him, say yes, good stay. If he's seeming like he's still ready to work, I'll do another one. Still just one step back, meet him there. Yes, good stay. If he seems like he's losing focus, I'll say, okay, break. I'll actually give him a break, and then we'll go back into it. And then maybe this next time we're doing stay, and then it's 2 steps back. And then I'll meet him at the placemat. Yes, good stay. You did it. Good job, Oliver. And then once he's mastered the 2 steps, we move on to the 3 steps, 4 steps, so on and so forth. But first, still meeting him at the placemat, saying yes, good stay, and then breaking him from there. Again, just because in the beginning, we want him to understand he's getting that reward for staying there. But once we can consistently go break, 8 to 10 steps away from where he was, then what we're going to start doing is saying yes, good stay, and breaking him at a distance. And once he has mastered that, he's still consistent, we say yes, good stay, he either goes to play or he follows us, then we're going to start working on turning our back, because it's really not useful for our puppy to know stay, but we have to be facing him the whole time, because up until this point, when I'm taking steps back, I'm facing him. But then we're going to start from the beginning of a progression, just with my back turned. So we'll do place, we'll have sit or down, stay, and then I'm going to turn my back. You can start with just time again if you want. You probably won't need to, because he will have, by the time he's consistently doing 8 to 10 steps away, we probably don't need to take it back that far. Oliver, catch. Yes, good boy. But you can if you want to. It never hurts to take steps back. So then we can do the same thing, see how far we can get with the steps. If we need to go back to doing, just a couple at a time, that's okay. Some dogs are not thrown off at all by our backs being turned, and some are like, oh my gosh, this is a whole new command. You're not looking at me, so I can't focus. And in the beginning, I do have my hand out and my head, I'm looking over my shoulder. But once we can get to doing a distance with us turn with our back turned, then we'll start turning our head and dropping our hand as well. So that is the progression through stay, starting with just time, working up distance little by little, meeting him at the placemat, then breaking him at a distance, and then turning our back. So now let's see if we can get him to demonstrate. Oliver, place. Yes, good boy, sit. Yes, good job. There you go. I'm gonna give him a treat, get him nice and motivated. And get these leaves out of your hair. Okay. No, I didn't. They're still there. All right, Oliver, sit. Oliver, stay. Oh, we're a little distracted. Break. He's distracted, so this might not be the best time for a stay training session. We've been doing a lot of these videos kind of back to back because some of them I recorded them in the wrong format, and maybe I could get them, but I figured it'd just be easier to do this. Place. Sit. Yes. Stay. Oliver, place. Yes. Sit. Stay. You did better earlier. Oliver, stay. Oliver, sit. Settle. Stay. Break. Okay, he is not interested. I'm going to give him a second and give him a little break and see if I can pull him back over to demonstrate. But if not, if you do see that he is not focused in a certain time frame, that's really not the time to work on stay. You can work on things he really knows if he's distracted, because it's good to work on him with every kind of mental state. But when it comes to stay and he's still really learning, that is a little bit harder. So keep that in mind, that if he does seem distracted, it's really okay to go, this is not the time, and come back later, because we don't want him to do it wrong over and over again. That's reinforcing and kind of getting a habit of the wrong behavior. Oliver, what are you doing, silly boy? Stay. All right, break. All right, now is not the right time. I'm going to try to take another video later, and I will clip it in with this if I can get it. But for now, it's not the right time. I don't want to tell you one thing and do another, so I am going to give him a break. We have done a lot of these videos back to back, so it's a little longer training sessions than he's used to. So we're going to let him kind of take a break and refocus. He needs a recess, and we'll get back to it shortly.